Hi, hello and welcome. Looks like we're already 3. Hello there. Let's wait a little bit, see if people get, because it's a bit tricky. I need to start the transmission and then put it in a playlist. Okay, we're 4. Great. Thank you for coming, guys. Let's see how it goes. I'm just going to turn this down so I can see. Perfect. Say something if you're there. You can, I think you can comment on the chat, and anything you want to tell me, you can just comment in there. Did you guys find it easy to find the link this time? Oh, hello, Gemma. Hi, how are you? Nice to see you here. Cool, we've got Gemma here. Wonderful. Okay. And I'll just give like at least 4 minutes of courtesy, because otherwise it's a bit tricky. But in the meantime, have you guys ever done Pilates? Is it the first time you've done Pilates? See if you can answer through there so that I can know a little bit where we're at. Okay, it's your first Pilates, Gemma. That's so exciting. Nice, good. So it's going to be a sort of a beginner class because basically, yeah, I think it's very important to explain the principles, and it's all about the little details in Pilates. So it is going to be easy for everyone. But hopefully also for those who have done Pilates, it will be challenging in the sense that I will try to correct things so that you do it properly, which is always the tricky thing. So yeah, and I think we have someone else there. Cool. Nice, it's got 4 there. Hello, who's there? So if you can comment there so that you can, so I can know who we've got there. Guys, can you hear me properly, see me properly, all those things? If you can just say yes, that'll be amazing. Yeah, okay, good. So we're just gonna get started actually. So we're gonna do a mixture of things. And I want you to, if you've got a mat, that's okay. If you don't have a mat, this is not a great mat anyway. You can just have something you can lie on. So anything that's sort of comfy you can lie on, that'll work, okay? And we're just gonna start with a little bit of a warm up. Make sure that you've got like a wall next to you. I've got this wall here. So if you can find a wall that's empty so that you can sort of lean against, because we're gonna start against the wall, okay? So we're just gonna be with our feet parallel. Good. And we're just gonna let our arms be loose towards the sides. And I want you to start to feel the weight of your body really dropping down to the floor. So our knees are a little bit soft. and our arms are nice and loose by the sides of our bodies. And now we're going to start to let the chest get really heavy. And as it does, it's like you want to imagine we're lifting the side ribs up towards the wall so that we're stretching the whole spine, and we're going to start to roll all the way down. So the aim is to try to take one vertebra at a time off the wall. Now, by the time I see that I cannot go any further without doing something weird with my hips, I'm just going to start to imagine I'm sending my sit bones, this guy's in your bum, underneath your bum where you sit, up to the ceiling as I keep articulating my hips. Good. I'm going to let my head go. And from there, I'm going to do exactly the same thing, but opposite. So I'm going to send my sit bones down, pick up my pubic bone, and start to articulate, trying to imagine I'm really lifting something up into my pelvic floor. And again, inhale, and as you exhale, you're going to let that chest melt nice and heavy and stretch those ribs up towards the wall and let all the weight go all the way down. Very good. And from there, we press on the feet, send the sit bones down. Good. So it's really important to press on the feet. So really, guys, think of nice and steady ground in there. So we're like really pressing with the whole soul. And again, last one, heavy chest and articulating the spine. And we're going to stay there a little bit. And from there, we're just going to imagine we're breathing into our lower back. Like if we want to expand it with our breathing, inhaling. And as we exhale, we keep narrowing our waist with the breathing. And again, inhale. Send air into your lower back. And exhale. Last one. Inhale. And now we're going to go a little bit farther. Again, sending the sit bones up to the ceiling so we get a little bit of a hamstring stretch there. And we keep going and we keep going. And then from there, sending the sit bones down, pressing on your feet, being as heavy as you can on your feet. We're going to go all the way up. Very good. Good. And from there, we're just going to sit down here. And we're just going to start with a little bit of a warm-up. So we're going to be... Do we have it? Yeah. Cool. So we're just going to start lying down on the mat, okay? So now it's really important that your hands are really active. We tend to forget about the hands in Pilates, and these guys are very, very important. So we're going to press with them, making them flat but strong. Now, if I press them like this with my arms very straight, what's going to happen is my chest is going to pop out, and that's going to mean this is going to be stiff and not able to bend. And in the end, we just want to be able to bend the spine and have a nice, flexible, healthy spine. So we're going to press on the palms, and we're just going to imagine as we press on the palms, my chest melts. So see if you can find some connection between your heart and your palms. And then as you inhale, imagining that really, really heavy chest, you're going to pick up one knee to your chest. And you're going to inhale. And as you exhale, pressing on the hands, you're going to pick up the other leg towards your chest. Good. Now we've got both legs. Now I don't particularly like this position of 90 degrees because it's going to sort of compress it back if you go too far. So think of your legs being slightly towards you and your feet floating up so that the legs feel nice and light. And from there, we're going to inhale, take one leg just a teeny bit forward. And then I'm going to exhale, bring it back. Now, you can put your hands in your belly. And what I want you to think of is that the chest is getting nice and heavy. And you're going to imagine there's like a clip. You're going to clip your chest and your pubic bone so that this belly gets really heavy. And you're going to probably need a little bit of support in your head. So see if you can go and find from me for a second, because I think that's going to give you quite a... I've got a little cushion here. I don't know if you can find something similar, something that's not too thick, but you can put in your head. So it's just going to be a little cushion for me because it's going to let me release all the tension in the neck and not be in my neck. Let me know if you can find something similar. I'll just wait a little bit. Yeah. Good. And see if you can find, it doesn't have to be like this. It just needs to be anything that lifts your head a little bit off the ground because it's going to really give you a hand in that sense. Perfect. And I'm hoping you found it. Good. And if you haven't, it's okay. It doesn't matter. We can look for it for following class. And then we're going to have the hands there, and we're going to do exactly the same. So we press on the palms, pick up one knee to our chest, making the chest very heavy. And then we go with the other leg. Good. And again, we inhale, take the leg forward. Exhale, imagine this bit gets really heavy. So if I put my hand in my belly, instead of popping out, it just gets heavier and softer. Inhale, exhale. Trying to imagine we're spreading jam all over the belly. Exhale, good. Inhale. And the exhale is really used to really allow that to clip together. Inhale. Now use your hands and make sure you keep connecting your hands with your heart. Very good. 2 more. Your feet can be a bit active, like bird on a perch, which is what we call, so you're like wrapping the arch around, sort of. And last one, inhale. Good. Now from there, we're going to squeeze the heels together a lot, like really a lot. And then we're going to start to reach the heels up to the ceiling as you let the chest melt towards the mat. Now, you're going to put your hands behind your knees so that you don't cheat. So I want you to imagine you're not pushing the knees away from you at all. So my elbows are wide to the side, and I'm just going to stretch the heels up without pushing in my hands at all. And I'm going to bend again. So now my knees stay in the same place. All I'm doing is I'm stretching my calves up to the ceiling. Very good. And I bend the knees again. Now as I do this, I keep doing exactly the same thing. So melting my chest, letting my belly be nice and smooth, nice and flat, nice and heavy. Very good. And last one. Exhale. Very good. Now from there, guys, we're going to take those legs, relax them a little bit, but just squeeze them up there. Good. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of tick-tock. So the legs are going to go towards the left a little bit, just a teeny bit. And then you're going to press on the left palm to go back to center. Now it's really important that it's like, I want to keep my legs in my secret place here. So the place underneath my ribs, you can put your hand on it. It's super soft. And if I touch it, it just gets warm and smooth. And as it does, it's like pulling my legs in so that my legs are very light. So I'm going again. Inhale. And as I exhale, I keep pulling my legs into this bit here. Inhale. And I keep pulling them in. Inhale. Exhale. Very good. So I keep pulling them in. I'm really working on my core. And I don't go farther than my shoulder because that means I'm going too far. Last one. And then I'm going to go to the left. And then I'm going to stretch the left leg down to the floor. Trying to make it as straight as I can. From there, I'm going to keep going with the circle here. So this leg is going to keep circling around. So I'm pressing on my hand and I'm connecting my leg and letting my thigh bone be super heavy, trying to release the groin down to the floor. Good. Now my left leg is as heavy as it can be. So if I put like a big elephant in it, you'd feel like that's the feeling I want to get. And again, exhale, so circling the leg. And good, and rest. Let's go back to center, squeeze the legs in, and we're gonna go on to the other side. So stay there for a second, just squeeze your knees in with your hands, give them a little bit of a circle to release the groin. Good. Now, if this is the first time you're doing this, with the other side, sorry. So hands are by your side, and we're gonna go to the right. Now, my right leg lengthens long, all the way down to the floor. Now, I'm really imagining this groin is very heavy. My right groin is heavy. I can put my hand on it if I need it. So if I put my hand on it, on my right thigh, I'm just going to feel how it gets really heavy. And that's what I want. So I want my base leg to support me. So that I'm pressing it slightly down to the mat. Good, and the other leg is just doing little circles. It's like a little spoon on a teapot, nice and heavy. The thigh bone is nice and heavy inside the socket. Good. Last one. Perfect. Now let's bring those legs in again and give them a nice big squeeze. Perfect. Good. So let's go up a little bit, and now we're just going to do a little bit of basic stomach series, but I'm going to do it in a way that it doesn't harm and it actually helps you start to engage the right muscles. Because sometimes if we just do the mat series, the original mat series is all going to be in the neck, and we're not very interested in that. We actually want to engage the core and make it work properly. So I'm just going to start with my feet here. Now, if you prefer, if you've got a wall that's close to you, you can also have your feet on the wall, actually. It might help you quite a lot. I just don't have it too close, so I prefer to mark it here. If you prefer to have it on the floor, that's totally fine. It's the same exercise anyway. So in case you are going to put them on the wall, all I want you to do is to imagine you're pressing a little bit from the back of the hip. And equally here, you're going to imagine you pull your heels towards your bum a little bit. So there's a little bit of engagement there already. Now my hands are with my fingertips facing forward. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to send my pubic bone. So this bone you've got there, you're going to send it towards your nose to start to open those hip flexors and hip crease as you start to articulate your spine down. Now, I'm pressing on my whole hand, whole palm, to let my chest melt. So it's quite tricky here. The chest is going to want to pop out, and what I'm wanting to do is to really bend like a boomerang. So I'm letting my heart melt to go up. So I'm melting, I'm curling, and I go up again. Good. And I keep that feeling of absorbing my arches into my pelvic floor, which is a kind of a weird thing, but it's like holding your pee in a way. So that is the kind of feeling. So keep in mind and really imagining those hip creases opening. Good, and we go down. Now we press on the palms and we let the heart melt as much as we can. So we're really there. Good. Now from there, similar exercise, but with a bit of a different engagement. So my hands are going to be forward, and I am having them like this. So the tip of my fingers are going to be on the mat. Now you can sort of readjust the distance, because the most important thing is that you really feel them pressing a lot. So as you press a lot with them, I am immediately feeling that if I press forward, my pubic bone is going to lean backwards, right? But then the tricky thing is that if I go too far, then I'm losing my hands and I am lost. So no loosen the hands. Hands are with you, and you want to make a gap on the floor as hard as you're pressing. So you're pressing super hard. So pressing on the tip of the finger super hard and curling your pubic bone towards your nose. Good. And now keep pressing to come all the way up, keeping the curl. And again. So I'm going all the way down. Good. And out. I'm thinking I'm just like gonna put this if you might see me better. Good. So I'm pressing on the tip of the fingers, sending the pubic bone towards my nose. Good. And now I'm keep pressing to go all the way up. Now in the last one, we're going to make it a bit more complicated. So you're going to stay with the shoulders nice and strong. Take the pubic bone towards your nose. Now I'm going to float one knee to my chest without the shin. And I'm going to float my other one, but you cannot lose the hands. So I'm making a gap on the floor with my hands. Don't lose them. And now I'm going to imagine my thigh is super heavy on my hip, but my calf is nice and light. And I'm going to start to float my calf nice and light, just a little bit. And I'm going to drop it again. This is quite hard, so if you do it well. So really pressing on the fingers, pressing and making your shoulders strong. And you're going to float the calf, imagining you don't want to press from the knee. And back. Good. And again. Heavy, 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 heavy. Very good. And down. Last one. Good, good, good. Just float it, float it, float it. Not too high. And down. Good. And relax for a second. Good. Very nice. Now let's just release the hips a little bit, because probably we've gripped a bit. It's totally normal at the beginning. So let's just do hands here. And we're just going to do some nice smooth circles for the hips, for the hip joint to oil. So I'm gonna go forward and I'm gonna go all the way back and all the way to the side. Good. I'm really getting in that articulation of the femur inside the hip socket. So I'm really trying to oil it, make it nice and smooth. Very good. Now, if there's a little bit where I feel like it's a bit stuck or whatever, I can sort of go a bit slower through that and breathing into it. So I'm really finding a spot here, so I stay there a little bit and I breathe through it so that I can release the tension. Good, and again. Wonderful. Yes, and then we're gonna reverse it. Now make sure you've got hands, because it tends to be that we sometimes just lock the elbows, and we're gonna look in my elbows, look at that. Oh my god, it's so bad. So think of really making them strong now. So your hands are with all the whole finger on the mat. There are no bubbles of air underneath the knuckles. I am pressing with every single finger until you feel like your wrist sort of hurts because it's not used to that. So you're just gonna keep going. Very good. Circling. Well done. And last one. Wonderful. Okay, now from there, we're just gonna put one leg in the front, like this. So it's like it's sort of like a launch. And my hands are gonna go here. Now I really wanna use my shoulders again. I'm just gonna do circles there. So I'm just gonna circle in the hip to try to give it some more smoothness there. Good. Perfect. Last one. And then I'm gonna do it with the other leg. So I change my leg, put my hands there, and I'm just gonna go all the way, doing circles. Cool. Perfect. Very nice. Now let's just lie on the mat again with our legs up to the ceiling as we were before. So remember, legs are not 90 degrees because they're gonna pull on my back and it's gonna feel a bit shit. I'm not saying another thing. So you're just gonna pull your legs towards you and keep your heels together. Now my hands are in the back of my head, but they're really, it feels like a beach bed. It's nice and comfy. And I am imagining my shoulder blades are nice and wide on the mat. I'm not squeezing them. I'm not constricting them. I'm just letting them be heavy and making my torso very wide on the mat. Now with that feeling, as my chest gets really heavy, I'm just going to start to send air in the middle of my blades. So if I imagine my two blades there, I'm going to send air just in the space in between. And I'm going to imagine my elbows are floating me up to the ceiling. Inhaling, exhaling. Very good. And I'm not wanting to go up for once, guys, the shape. I am on my beach bed, so my head is not leading. Last one. Good. So now, stay there for a second. The breathing is a little bit complicated in this one because instead of what we do in a normal sort of crunch that we sort of do, exhale or whatever we do, I want you to keep the breathing going. So you're gonna inhale in the middle of your blades, stay there exhaling, squeezing everything together. Then you're gonna inhale again, float a bit higher. So it's like the air is floating you up, but we never go down until I say so. So we keep going up, 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 okay? And let's do a couple more of those. And another little thing is that I want you to be aware of the head. So look at me for a second. The tendency is to do this, right? My head is leading. My hands are really not doing anything. I am on my neck, and it's doesn't feel very nice. Now, what I want you to imagine is that your head is literally lying on your hands. You've got a pina colada. You're in the middle of a really paradisiac island, and you want to stay there. So your head is not leading. Your head is leaning on your hands, lying on that beach bed. That's just going up and up and up and up and up and down. Good, last one. Great. Inhale. Exhale. Now I want you to imagine that the 4 elephants you've got in your belly, you cannot push them out, so the breathing can just happen in your upper back. Not in your belly, just in your upper back. Exhale, squeeze your waist. Last one. Good. And rest. Beautiful, guys. Good. Perfect. Now we're just going to cross one leg on top of the other one to give the glutes some stretch. And we're just going to pull the thigh towards us. Good. And just breathe there for a second. Couple of breaths in there. Good. Now we're going to go with the other leg. Perfect. Wonderful. Okay, so from there, let's just go down to the side. Let's do some sides, okay? So we're just going to be lying on, if you still have that little cushion, that can serve you here. Don't need it, but if you want it, it's going to make it a bit more comfortable. So you can sort of put it here, but to be honest, if it's as big as this one, it's not going to work. So unless it's something small that you can put on, just leave it. And then we're just going to have the hand in front of us. And we're just going to have the knees slightly bent, as you can see. Good. So now from there, it's really important to think about the leg that's not apparently working, because it's actually the one that needs to be very active. So I'm going to press with my left thigh in this case. That's the one that's the bottom leg down. Really pressing against the mat to lift my top leg up and down. Good. Let's do flex, a little bit of flex on the top leg. And keep pressing nice and strong on the bottom leg. Don't forget about the bottom leg. It's really important. Now my hand is not just lying there like, it's really active. So I'm really using it to give me some chest. See if I can soften my chest with my hand. Good. And we're just going to do 10 more of those. So you're going to do and fun. And good. Up. Perfect. We're just lacking 3, I think. Pilates teachers don't know how to count, by the way. You didn't know yet. Now you know. Last one. Good. And now we're going to stay there. Lower the leg a little bit more. And you're going to send your knee towards your chest, okay? A little bit higher. And now you're going to imagine you're pressing through the whole foot, like you've got a resistance here in the sole of your foot, and you're pressing against it to go all the way away, lengthening that leg. Now your hand can be here so that you can imagine you're reaching your right hip far, your top hip far. Yeah, because I don't know which leg you're using. And now we're going to go a little bit back. Imagining you're really in your hamstring. So I want you to try to feel your hamstring as much as you can. And then you're going to go with that leg a little bit forward. Good. Now you point there to go all the way back. And then you flex to go all the way forward. Now my hand needs to be super active to stabilize my core so that I'm not just bouncing back and forward with the leg. So now I keep pulling my leg towards my stomach so that it feels nice and light. And now we've probably forgotten about the bottom leg. So if you have forgotten about it, say hi to it and see if you can actually press it down a little bit more. So really pressing that bottom leg. Yeah, for dear God, that's the most important thing, more than the top leg. Everything is about what looks fancy. And actually, in Pilates, it's not about that. It's about what works and makes us feel good. So in this case, we need that supported bottom leg. Last one. Great. And relax for a second, 2 seconds. And then we're going to go open and close. Can you see me? So what I'm doing is I'm just opening the knee up and closing it. Good. And open it. So my feet are together. It's just my knees are opening apart from it. Yeah. Great. And again, inhale and down. Good. 2 more. Perfect. Last one. And now we're going to work on that field internal rotation. So we're going to keep the knees together and pick up the foot up. So the knees stay together and you're just going to try to lift the shin up. Good. It might feel a bit weird because we're not very used to working on the internal rotation. So it's really important to work on it. Good. And down. And again. Up and down. Let's do 4 more. Down, 3, good, and 2. Nice, last one. Great. Okay, and from there, we're just gonna go all the way down to the other side. So, head, there, very good. And from there, you're gonna have your hand there, knees bent, and find again your comfortable position where you feel like you're engaging with your hand and your waist is engaged. And from there, let's go. Pressing on the bottom leg to pick up the top leg. And down. And in and down. Very good. Wonderful. Good. So really pressing on the bottom leg. A little bit more. Yes. Good. Nice. What about that hand? Make that hand really engage. Yeah, so as I press my left hand, I'm feeling my chest getting heavier towards my back. Great, last one. Now we stay there, the leg not so high, and we're gonna bring the knee in. So fold it in, allowing the groin to really soften. And then we're gonna reach through the whole sole of the foot as if I'm pressing a resistance there. And I'm gonna go all the way back in, just to do one more to feel it a bit better. And we're gonna go back again. Now we go forward. Remember, you wanna pull the leg into this bit here underneath your ribs. And then you point and you take the leg all the way back. But don't go as back that you're arching your back and doing weird thing with your torso. So you keep your torso stable and you go point back. And again, forward. Good, and point back. And again, forward, beautiful. Point back, last one. And forward. And point back. And release in there. And again, we're gonna open the leg up and down. So in an open position, like a butterfly, good. Just opening the knee wide and closing it. Good. Now if you are not sure about your hips, you can put your hand in here and make sure you're reaching your hip away towards your feet. Yeah, good. And exhale, 2 more. Make sure your chest and your pubic bone is still clipped. They're still very clipped. Great. Okay, and now let's go for the internal. So knees are together. We pick up the leg up and down. So again, and down, and up, and down. Good. Yes, let's do 4 more of those. 1 and 2. Great. And 3. Wonderful. And 4. Yes, perfect. And from there, we're just going to have to stretch the bum a little bit. You probably feel it. So we're just going to cross one leg. Let me put this up because it's just going to loosen a bit. Where are we? Good. Thank you. Sorry. So we're just going to cross this leg. Good. And I'm just putting my hand there and I'm rotating my torso a little bit towards the side. Good. There you go. I'm stretching. Trying to keep the bum nice and heavy on the mat. And stay there for a couple of breaths. Just letting that stretch happen in there. Great. And let's change the side. So we cross the other leg on top. Put the elbow around and we just rotate a little bit. Good. Yeah, so any rotation, it's really important that it happens from the torso and not just from the shoulders, right? Because otherwise we are really compressing there. So we want to grow and we want to let the whole torso twist that way. Perfect. Good. Nice. Now, I want you guys to tell me if you've got a chair or something you can sit on close to you. Please write to me because otherwise I cannot know. It would be quite useful to do a couple of exercises, and I just wonder if you've got one. Let me know. I'm going to show you what I've got. Which is pretty simple chair, and I'm sure you've got something like that. Otherwise, just write to me and tell me, no, please, I don't have anything like that. Yeah. Okay, good. Gemma has one. Yeah. Okay. Great. So I'm hoping, yeah. Okay, I'm hoping if you don't say anything, it means you've got one. Great. So we're just going to sit on the chair. To be honest, I think I'm just going to mark it through like this because it's going to serve me. Okay. So my hands are on my laps. Yeah. And we're just going to have the hands on top of the thighs. And I'm going to press with my hands. And as I do so, I'm going to imagine I'm sending my pubic bone towards my nose to stretch all that back. And then I'm coming back. So first of all, let's just work on a little bit what the pelvic tilt is. So what I want to achieve is a little bit of a curl here and forward. Now, what it can happen, especially if you're hyperlordotic as me, is that you just pill in the front and you just shab in the back. Now, I want you to try to keep both hands, one in the front and one in the back. So you can imagine a sandwich. And when I go forward, all I do is I press on my feet just enough. It's all about this just enough to tilt my pelvis back, and then I pull my heels towards my bum to come back to center. And let's just work on that simple concept again. So we're going to press on the feet to send the pubic bone towards my nose and not shove in the back. I'm still light in my back. And then I go back, pulling the heels towards my bum. And again. And nice and open. And it sounds like a really simple thing, but it is so important to mobilize the hip. So I've got loads of directions going on here. It's all about the opposition. So my knees are reaching, the back of my knees are reaching away from me so that this hip crease can open. Good. Last one. Perfect. Really reaching the quads away from you guys. Last one. Perfect. And now we're just going to complicate it a little bit. So my hands are here. And I'm going to go alternating between this curl we're doing. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my elbows towards my waist, nice and narrow. I'm going to press on my hands. And I'm going to send my nipples up to the ceiling. So my chest, my collarbone, everything up. Now, I'm going to show it to you two ways, right? So I can do this and shab. And you see where my shoulders are, so they're not connected at all. My hands are not doing anything. And then if I go up, I can really spill. You see how my ribs are like totally all over the place, and I'm not really doing much apart from constraining that. But in this case, the idea is that like we're sending the ribs back and up, so that I'm stretching the whole shape back and up. And then when I'm going forward, I stay there, connecting my ribs with my heart, and I lift, just stretching, but keeping this connection. So I never lose the connection between my chest and my pubic bone, which is gonna open properly your thoracic and make it be a nice feeling of opening. So again, let's go. Reaching the pubic bone towards your nose. Sorry, I think that's my phone. Should have disconnected it. And you're pressing with the palms to open the chest all the way up. Good. And again, hands forward. Very good. And you're pulling the elbows. Good. That's it. Two more. That's it. That's what happens when you work at home, guys. Everything can happen at home. Good. Last one. Good. Perfect. And stay there for a second for me. Stay there. Press on your hands. Open the collarbone. Keep reaching the nipples up to the ceiling. Good. Nice. Good. And I hope you got some opening out of there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put the hand crossed. So we're going to have opposite hand on opposite leg, let's say. And I'm going to have this hand pressing. And I'm going to imagine my belly button is twisting. And I'm going to put my hand on the other side of the chair. Whichever chair it is, you'll have to adapt this, but it'll probably work anyway. And you're just going to think of, you're going to inhale here, exhale, twist. You're going to stay there, inhale, and you're going to exhale again, going a little bit farther. Good. And then you're going to come back. So hopefully you're getting that feeling of a wringing towel that's really stretching those spine muscles. And again, what we're going to do with the other hand now. So we've got left hand on right knee. Good. And then we're going to start to twist. So the first hand that works is the left one in this case. Pressing on it. We're going all the way. And we're twisting and we're inhaling here. Exhale, go a bit farther. And back. And again, now again, it doesn't happen from my shoulders. It happens from, you need to imagine you've got like a big bra here, and it's just the bra moves literally to the side to go and twist. So you go again, and you really twist the whole spine. You breathe in, and you exhale, let it squeeze, and come back. Good. Last one. Inhale, heavy chest. Good. Inhale. Keep using your feet, guys. Don't forget you've got hips. Great. Okay, and I'm just going to release there for a second. So just let the head go. Do a bit of yes and no. Yes and no with the head. Good, good, good. Nice. And I'm just going to use this chair now that I've got it to do something else. I'm just going to do a hamstring stretch here, okay? So my leg is going to be on top of the chair or whatever it is. Whatever you've got, stool, whatever. And I am having my foot slightly wrapped up. So I'm not just like pointing the foot. I am slightly finding my heel on the surface if I can. Now from there, I am not going to go like this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to imagine the back of my thigh. It's like I've got tights here and I'm pulling them away to go forward. Yes, that's it. So that I'm not bending the spine at all and I go all the way up. So it's going to feel quite small maybe compared to what you do if you go just crazy forward. So I just want you to be really allocating the hamstring. So you're just stretching it back. Very good. Stretching it back, 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 back. Wonderful. And you go all the way up again. You can put your hands on your hips to make sure they're square. Last one. Reach, 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 reach. Very good. And up, last one. Stretch it, stretch it, stretch it back. Great. And change the side. Wonderful. And let's go with the other leg. Good. So we're just stretching the whole shape to go forward and back. And you might feel like it tends to happen that mostly the sides are quite different. So just notice that difference, don't judge it. Try to just work around it and work with it. And again. So I'm really reaching my left hip back so that I'm square as I can be. And I still find my heel there. Remember, we're not pointy, too pointy. We're in a little bit of a bird on a perch that we call it. Great, last one. Stretching the back of the thighs to the back of the room all the way there. Yes. Great, okay, and from there we're just going to do a last roll down, but just nice and simple. Letting the head get heavy and going all the way down. Softening the knees, releasing the head, and then from there we're going to go all the way up. Good, and again, heavy chest, letting that spine stretch, and we're going to go all the way down. Now find your feet, make sure you're not too back with the weight, you're quite forward, and you're using your hips to send the tailbone down and the pubic bone up. Last one, inhale, heavy chest. Great, and now pressing on the feet to go all the way up. Nice, guys, thanks for coming, and I'm sure you did a great job. If you've got any doubts, because I guess for most of you this is a bit new, Gemma at least, that I've known of, so any doubts, curious, whatever you don't understand, just write it down for me, because I'll be able to explain it a bit better in the following session, and I'll be with you with an English math session Wednesday, if you're up for it. So it would be so nice to see you there. Thank you so much for coming, and hope you enjoyed, and have a great evening. And now we've got this stretching, relaxing session. If you want to join, it's just going to be 25 minutes, so it's quite short, and it's just going to be a little bit more stretching because we didn't do much yet, and quite a lot of breathing and all that to go to bed nice and relaxed. So if you want to join, I'll be there in a second. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for coming. Mwah.